You know, when we talk about solving the energy crisis, our minds usually jump to these huge things, right? Power plants, national grids. But what if a really critical piece of the puzzle actually starts way smaller, like inside our own homes? Today, we're going to dig into PowerPulse Innovations, a company that has a pretty brilliant plan to fight energy instability from the ground up. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the weeds on the specific energy challenge PowerPulse is going after. Then we'll check out their actual solutions for households. And after that, we'll pull back the curtain on the brains behind the operation. We'll also unpack their business model, which is super interesting, and then wrap up with their vision for the future. All right, let's start with the problem itself. PowerPulse is zeroed in on South Africa, a place where, an unstable power grid is just a part of daily life. But the effects of that go way, way beyond the simple inconvenience of the lights flickering off. And that leads us to this really critical question. Forget the frustration for a second. What's the actual hidden cost here? Turns out all that constant switching on and off, the power surges, it's creating this huge invisible problem. And here it is. This is the core of it. All that electrical chaos, it creates very real physical mechanical stress. I mean, think about your appliances. Especially something big like a water heater, a geyser. It's just not built to be slammed with power, then starved of it, over and over and over again. That whole cycle just puts this incredible strain on its parts. And you can just see the ripple effect this creates. For homeowners, it means your stuff breaks down way faster, and that costs a ton of money to replace. For insurance companies, it's a nightmare, a constant flood of claims for things like burst geysers. And for the utility companies, it just makes their grid even more unpredictable. It's a systemic risk that really hits everyone. So how in the world do you solve a problem that's happening inside millions of different homes at the same time? Well, PowerPulse's answer begins with three very specific, very smart solutions for the household. These are their tools on the front line: Solar Boost, Grid Guard, and Geyser Guard. Each one is engineered to solve a specific pain point that comes from that grid instability we were just talking about. So let's take a quick look at what each one actually does. First up, we've got Solar Boost. This little device lets you hook up the biggest energy hog in your house, the geyser, right into your solar system. And the best part? You don't need a huge, crazy expensive battery or inverter upgrade to do it. It just intelligently uses solar power whenever it's available, saving you money and taking a ton of strain off the grid. Next is Grid Guard. This one is all about being smart during a blackout. Instead of everything just dying, it actively manages the power you have left, shifting it to where it's needed most, to your essential circuits. It keeps the lights on, literally, just by being smarter with what little power is available. And finally, there's Geyser Guard. This one goes right after that mechanical stress problem. Instead of that harsh, jarring jolt of electricity hitting your geyser, it uses a much gentler, smoother switching process. That dramatically cuts down on the wear and tear. Oh, and it also gives you early warnings if it detects a potential failure so you can fix it before you have a disaster on your hands. And the results are, well, they're pretty staggering. According to PowerPulse, this tech can slash insurance claims related to geysers by up to 85%. Now, for an insurer, that's not just a nice little saving, that's a fundamental game changer for their risk. The key takeaway is, this device basically pays for itself by preventing disasters. So you might be thinking, okay, those are three separate, pretty clever products. But the real innovation, the absolute secret sauce here, is what connects them all. This is where all the individual pieces come together to create something way, way bigger. Yup, exactly. Solar Boost, Grid Guard, and Geyser Guard, they're not just operating in their own little worlds. They are all powered by a single central intelligence engine, and that is the key that transforms them from just being hardware into a really sophisticated tech platform. So, what is this core intelligence engine? Well, think of it as the system's brain. It's all the software and logic that's been designed from day one to handle the chaos of an unstable grid. It doesn't just react to problems, it's constantly capturing data from every little power event, every switch, every temperature fluctuation, and it turns all that raw noise into structured, usable insights. And that ability to gather and make sense of all this data is what allows PowerPulse to operate on a completely different level. This isn't just about selling a box that solves one problem one time. I mean, this phrase, from their own materials, it says everything. Revenue beyond hardware. They've completely rethought the old business model for a connected device. So how does that actually work? Let's just compare the two. The old way is what you'd call the single sale device model. You sell a product, you make your one-time profit, and that's it. Relationship over. PowerPulse, on the other hand, is built on platform economics, where that first sale is really just the beginning of creating value. Their model is built on 4 pillars. So yeah, of course, they make a margin selling the hardware, but then they also build value through partnerships with installers. Then you've got service enablement, think things like remote firmware updates or adding new features down the line. But that 4th pillar, that's the most powerful one, structured usage intelligence. They can sell anonymized, aggregated data insights to partners like those insurance companies. So you see, for a huge partner like an insurer, PowerPulse isn't just selling them a gadget. They're selling them a risk mitigation layer that's literally embedded into the very infrastructure they insure. It lowers their systemic risk, and the data helps them price that risk way more accurately. Okay, so this all brings us to the future. They've got this powerful tech, they've got a scalable business model. So where does PowerPulse go from here? While they've already put in the hard yards, with 2.5 million rand invested, they've built and, more importantly, validated their prototypes in the real world. So the next big phase is all about scaling up, getting the tooling for mass production, getting all the official certifications, and building out those key partnerships to get these devices into as many homes as possible. And their vision here is, frankly, huge. They built this whole thing from the ground up specifically for unstable grids. That means it isn't just a solution for South Africa, it's a solution for emerging markets all over the world. They're trying to build the foundational layer for intelligent distributed energy control. And this is the real kicker. This is what gives them such a powerful competitive advantage. It's a classic network effect. Every single new device they install adds more data to the platform. That makes their insights more powerful, which in turn attracts more partners, which leads to more installations. The value literally compounds on itself over time. And so all of this leaves us with one final fascinating question. By combining smart hardware, an intelligent data platform, and a really clever, scalable business model, has PowerPulse actually created the blueprint for how we stabilize our grids, not from the top down, but from the inside of every single home out?